How does that impact the challenge that you guys face on a daily basis?
Do more research, and make sure that you have to find the information quicker. You have to find, and no information is better than inaccurate information. You want to make sure that you're getting the right information on these kids, the process has sped up, but by no means do we want that to speed up our process. We still need to do our homework, because it's about finding the right kid. Not the right kid before he goes somewhere else. You need to find the right kid. And sometimes, if you wait a little bit, if you're patient, if you do your homework, the right kid will surface.
Do you pay attention to social media, what they're tweeting, what they're doing? I mean, how big is that? And do you ever get to a point where you maybe see a pattern with a kid where you're like, wait, maybe we misjudged this kid? Or how much stock do you put in that, I guess?
Well, I think what you put out, my grandma used to say, what's down in the well comes up in buckets. So, if a kid is repeatedly putting, negative things out there on Twitter, or things that he wouldn't say in front of his mom or in front of his grandmother, then that's a red flag. And no matter how talented the kid is, if he has that kind of disregard, in as far as language and any other type of things that kids put on Twitter, probably would be a good fit here for Iowa.
Talk about family life and or the importance of it, coaching staff. Do you view stability as kind of in a person's home life as an important intangible to kind of predict the type of work ethic maybe they have, the type of background, as opposed to maybe somebody who doesn't quite have that, maybe a little more erratic as a person, say commit, decommit, commit, defit, or in predictive behavior possibly, and when they do arrive on campus?
You mean like stability in his home life? In
the home life, and I don't mean necessarily two parents, but just okay, we know what kind of person he is based on what the coach and the parents says.
It'll give you an idea of the type of challenges that kid might face when he gets on campus. Yes, but you don't want to. We're not going to nix a kid because he has an erratic home life. Because the one thing that we feel like that the environment here, the stability here, if a kid is open to that, we'll be able to mold and help that kid adapt to what's going on here. He'll be able to assimilate into our culture. Obviously, we're not right on that all the time, but if he is coming from a stable background, whether it be one parent or two parent homes, then we feel like we'll have a better shot at that kid, assimilating our culture.
I know fans often melt down if you guys lose out on a big recruit. How do you guys handle that? I mean, recruiting, there's a lot of rejection. I mean, do you take any time to reflect, or is it just move on, business as usual?
It's, I'll revert back to Coach Mason, who's currently at Vanderbilt, and I'm a recruiting guy, so, of course you're going to take it to heart, but the best thing he said, and I still have to remind myself sometimes, it's not the guys you didn't get, it's 100% the guys you do get. So it speaks to our freshman class that's currently here. It's about the guys you get in the class and the guys that come on campus. So, I give myself a 24-hour rule to pout and kind of cry about it, and then the next day I move on. It's on to the guys that still do want to be Hawkeyes and want to be around here. So, I don't think you can get too high or too low. You got to focus, especially here. You got to focus on what's here in the building. The guys that are going to be in the building, and not the guys that decided to go elsewhere. It doesn't do anything good.
You can't worry about the ones you miss. You cannot worry about the ones you miss, especially if you put your best foot forward. If you told the kid the truth, the kid visited here and decided that it wasn't the place for him. Whether he comes or whether he comes or whether he doesn't come, he's probably right. Okay, so you can't worry about the guys you miss. You have to make sure that the ones that are here are the right kids for the program.
I've not noticed this with Iowa recruiting, but the whole thing, committable, non-committable offers that's out there. I did not notice that with Iowa. You guys seem to hold your cards, and if you move on a guy, you move on a guy. But that seems to be a tool now that everyone is using, and when people do that, it really seems shady. And is that you guys talk about not getting pulled in trends? Is that one you guys will probably avoid?
It's the early hook that a lot of schools try to dig into a kid. Hey, I want to offer you now. I'm not ready to take your commitment and go see if I can find better. And if we don't, then I'm going to come back to you. You know, and I think it's a direct reflection of what's happening at the top. You know, Coach Ferentz isn't going to extend anything to us that he's not willing to back, and therefore we're not going to extend anything to a kid that we're not willing to back.
So if you're out on the road and you don't have Coach Ferentz's okay to offer a guy, you can't and you're not.
We won't necessarily need his okay to offer. We just better make sure, knowing in our mind, that if we do offer this kid, that we're willing to take him.
Okay.
We don't want to be in a situation where we're trying to back out of something. So, you know, it's probably safer not to. You know, and if the kid is willing to understand your situation, the way that we go about things, then that's good. But you know, it's probably better not to make sure that all your bases are covered, to make sure that this kid's a fit before you do something like that.
So you guys can't do this like unilaterally when you're on the road. You can't just say, hey, we're going to offer you. It has to be discussed, you know, among the staff before they happen.
You better make sure that that guy's a fit for Iowa football.
Scott, you've been here for a while, and you've seen Reese Morgan pull in these last-minute guys, you know, the Josie Jules, you know, Tanner Miller guys, and then get some really good walk-ons who've had. You wonder, how does he do this, and how does he go about that last-minute guy? Because I'm sensing he's kind of, hey, get this guy. You know, how does he work in that world?
Coach Morgan has done an outstanding job here on our staff, and has been our lead in-state recruiter since he's got here 17 years ago. We have great high school programs in the state. We have great high school coaches. We build up relationships. We are always tracking and following Iowa high school football. We kind of know the ins and outs, and it's something I grew up doing, but it just kind of naturally extended on here at Iowa. But we're always following, we're always researching, we're always just watching how kids are doing. And Coach Morgan has a great feel for what it takes to succeed here, and you know, he communicates with all of us, and you know, we try to get kids here multiple times, and you know, just get a feel for, you know, who fits here at Iowa. So you know, it's an ongoing process, but he has a great knack of kind of knowing what it takes here, and he's been right a lot.
All three of you guys have been around this program for a while. How much of an impact has this building made on recruiting?
Huge. It's you know, it's nice to be able to when you have a recruit and their parents, you know, show up here to have something nice to show off. You know, but I tell kids all the time when they walk through the doors and they see it and they see the wow factor in the atrium, and I say, if you're going to play football, you know, at the FBS level, Power 5 conference, then every building you're going to walk into is going to look like this. And if it doesn't, they probably have a picture of some renderings of something they're going to build in the next 3 or 4 years. So, you know, don't get wowed by, you know, it's a great place. It's an unbelievable facility to spend 4 or 5 years here playing college football, but it's more about the people in the building than it is the actual building. You know, if a kid comes here and he falls in love with this building, and this is the reason why he's going to come here, it's, you know, it's probably in for a reawakening. He's not going to spend every waking moment in this building. You know, so it's great. It's great. It's an unbelievable tool. To answer your question, it is. But you know, it's about the people in the building.
You guys had good teams when you guys just had the bubble.
That's true.